Good evening, YugiTube. Welcome to the second episode of Yugi Nudes. Okay, let's get it started.
Whoa, what are you doing? It's news, Dan.
What?
It's news.
Well, no, I'm nude.
No, new.
Oh, news. Well, how am I supposed to know that? Tell me if there's any indication on this video that it is anything to do with news. Okay, so apparently news it is. In today's top story, what did the ban list do to the YugiTubers? For more footage on this, we're gonna go really close to my face and pop up pictures right here. Yeah, I don't care if this is ruining your show. Thank you, Daniel. With the ban list just arriving a short time ago, we have seen a great increase and decrease in the profit of cards. Now, to begin with, we're going to be discussing what has dropped dramatically in price. Now, the most notable, of course, is Trishula and Bulb, almost halving in price, down to about $20 to $23. Usually it goes down to about $5 to maybe $1, depending on how quickly and how often that card was reprinted. Trishula shouldn't be that much of a difference because it was a hidden arsenal card, as well as was very easily pulled in those special edition tins. Now, Bulb, because of its immense playability and its immense broken ability, you have to think, will Konami ever bring it back? Now, we've all been seeing the increase of Maxi's price. Right now it's tapering around to be about $120. Is this something that we can see going even more so up in value? I mean, Tour Guide from the Underworld is the card that is reprinted, even though it's in May. It has now become the second place secret to look out for. Number one, Maxi. Now, Reborn Tengu, as it was a very controversial issue, as it was the only English-worded card in the actual ban list. It has been tapering around $10 to $15 per. Insector Hornet can be found only for $45 with very limited supply online, which means you can only assume that it's going to be going up and up in value. Rescue Rabbit, although showing a huge impact on YCS Atlanta, has been tapering around $60 to $70. It can go a little higher, but there is a lot of stock on eBay, which means a lot of supply, but not much demand. Now, what this reporter thinks is the biggest upset, of course, is Wind-Up Zenmaity and Wind-Up Rabbit. Now, both of these cards seem to be in very high demand and very low supply. Only seeing about 2 Wind-Up Rabbits available online and 1 Zenmaity. Now, that 1 Zenmaity is ultimate and sits at about $53. And of course, the Wind-Up Rabbit sitting at a cool $105 each. Could wind-ups be seeing this huge push for money? If everyone complained about needing 3 tour guides, imagine what a wind-up deck is going to cost you. For Yugi News, this is Dan Connell. Well, luckily I got all my cards right away, rather than waiting like you noobs. Ha! Our next story comes all the way from YCS Atlanta. With the winning Tech Genis deck, let's turn to Dan Connell once again to figure out why. Thank you, Daniel. As we move on, we go over to YCS Atlanta, where the winner, a 14-year-old gentleman by the name of Marcus Henderson, has overcome the odds and beat out Wind-Ups and Dino Rabbits, claiming his title of YCS champion with Tech Genis. Now, to go over the top 32 pairings, we had a total of 15 Dino Rabbits, 9 Wind-Ups, 2 Insectors, 2 TGs, 1 Empty Jar, 1 Evolsaur, 1 Agents, and 1 Dark World. Now, looking at it this way, Dino Rabbits and Wind-Ups had to clash heads, destroying each other round after round, ultimately putting in Marcus with a whole bunch of Wind-Ups and Dinosaurs in the final rounds. Now, due to Marcus's deck, he was able to demolish the field with simple cards. Using tech genesis as floaters rather than as synchro materials, he was able to demolish his opponents by using their own effects against them. Now we've seen this time and time again where the anti-meta deck triumphs over the tier 0 or tier 1 decks. Now because of the ban list, quite a number of these cards will no longer be available for play or will be limited in their use. Does this mean TGs will no longer be seen? I highly doubt it, because it is a very playable deck. Now moving forward, Marcus Henderson was a fairly newbie to the Yu-Gi-Oh scene. Being that, in his own words, it was easy because I didn't know who I was playing. It didn't matter if they were good or not. I just played the game. Words to live by, words to reflect upon. Because, as you know, they're just players, same as you. Now, one thing that this gentleman may receive criticism for, I don't see why, but he was playing no maxis, no veilers, and no fiendish chains, which means his deck was fairly inexpensive comparatively. Of course, TGs did not play Tour Guide from the Underworld, but spicy tech of skill drains and high amounts of trap cards allowed this gentleman to move on past all of his opponents into the first place finish spot. Now he did go X2 into day 2, so he needed to win the next 2 rounds in order to proceed into top 32. Wiping out his opponents in 3 of the feature matches that they actually gave allowed him to build up confidence and ultimately come out with victory. In the description bar below, you will find his deck list, complete with side and extra. And we will now go over some of the key points. Tech Genis Werewolf was a big player in this game as the wind-up loop hurt very, very much. He was able to special summon his TG werewolves without having to worry about getting a turn for him to play his actual cards. Now his high trap lineup and his floatable monsters could be the reason for his great victory. 3 skill drain destroys a number of the actual playable decks that are out currently, especially windups that were in droves. Facing off against quite a number of Royal Decrees that were side decked by his opponent hurt his overall game. But with the use of 1 MST, 2 MST side decked, and TG Magician to make his actual traps live. Now one of the most unknown cards that was in his side deck was of course Des Wombat. It is a beast level 4 1600 attack that stops burn damage. And in Marcus's words, chain burn is scary. I didn't want to lose. Luckily, burn was not in high supply that day, but it is always good to prepare. Once again, for Yugi News, this is Dan Connell.
So the ban list didn't screw us over? And we're safe?
No. Thank you very much, YouTube. Make sure you tune in every single Sunday for your Yugi News. Make sure you check out all the previous episodes of Yugi News on Underworld 6667's channel, as well as Binder Blenders, Stay on Track, Under the Spotlight, From the Underworld, and many, many more. All you need to do is click that little subscribe button above my head in order to subscribe for more content. Alright, now seriously, where is... yeah, I know. Where is my 50 bucks? I'm done with this. Seriously. Where? Come on. Give me like 50 bucks. Serious. One last quick thing. We are looking for reporters. So if you think you have what it takes and you have a story to report on, make sure you PM Underworld 6667 right now. Tell him your story. Tell him that you have the option of recording yourself. Do you want to be a reporter? Do you want to be on Yugi News? Do you have a story that you want to get out there on the next episode of Yugi News? All you need to do is PM Underworld 6667 with your idea, and he will let you know what else to do. Thank you very much for watching this, YouTube. Make sure to like this video, favorite it, share it with all your friends, and of course, subscribe.